Hi, welcome. My name is Jeff Fowler. I'm the president of the Apartment Owners Association of California. It's great to have you with us today. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to have a presentation here that'll teach you how to fill the vacant units with a special program. And this live stream is being brought to you is sponsored by Lease Up. And what it is, it's a sophisticated system that's well funded, and it's a matchmaking system. So it's going to match housing providers up with people who need housing. And so it's great to have you with us today. The Apartment Owners Association is one of the largest associations in the state, individually organized groups of apartment owners in the state. And our goal is to help you give you one idea, to continually give you ideas that'll help you make and or keep more money than ever before, and also make the process of providing housing easier and more enjoyable. And there's a lot of different ways that we do that. And one of them is by providing the forms. And there's a lot of different things going on. And we have all the forms you could need. And one of them right now, there's a new one for the 3-day notice. And so there's a new one there for you that you have to serve after you serve the first 3-day. And then also we have one for SB 1157, and that is providing rental history reporting to the credit bureaus. And that's going to be a requirement for those of you who have Section 8 tenants. Anyway, those two forms are on the website. You can check them out. And anyway, so that's just a little housekeeping. Next week, we do have Pathway to Wealth, and it's having the right system. And so this system, it's an organizational system, so you have everything in place and everything flows well, and you don't miss anything. And so that's going to be a great live stream for you to tune into. So I want to encourage you to go to the AOAUSA.com website, sign up for that one. The week after that is preparing for small claims court. Unfortunately, some of you are going to need to watch that one because you have people that owe you money. And so hopefully we're able to help you in these different ways, either save or keep money. And all these things are free, so you can subscribe to this channel. And also you can subscribe to our newsletter. If you go on AOAUSA.com on the website, there, if you go all the way down to the bottom on the right side, there's a place that you can sign up for a free e-newsletter, and we'll tell you about different laws that are coming out and tell you when we're doing live streams, and so you can get it directly from there firsthand. So go ahead and sign up for those different things. They're free, and become a member. That's not free, but there is no per unit charge, and so it is the low cost provider for you of the information that you need to do wonderful at providing housing for other people. So we're going to get into introducing the speaker now. And our speaker today, super sharp, MBA from Purdue, which is very impressive. And she's done a lot of work, a lot of community work. And let's see here. So she is the Associate Director of Housing Partnerships since 2008. She's been here, and she is Property Owner Engagement Director for PATH. She started her career as a residential counselor at Risk Teen Mothers in Orange County. She obtained her management and clinical skills as a group home coordinator at the Regional Centers for the Developmentally Disabled, and has spent her time serving the South Los Angeles region as a community advocate for Prevail Community Outreach. It's my pleasure to introduce to you today Marissa Bowman. Yeah, you're live. Go ahead, Marissa.
To make sure that was for me.
Oh,
Hi.
you may be on mute, or is that me?
Hi. Can you hear me? Hi, good afternoon. My name is Marissa Bowman. I'm the Associate Director of Housing Partnerships at PATH, and I'm here to talk to everyone about Lease Up Los Angeles, which we match forward-thinking property owners and underserved renters to make renting easier and more reliable for everyone. Today, property owners and managers can't count on reliable rental income. And tens of thousands of Angelenos are living right at the edge, struggling to pay rent. So that's where our Lease Up Los Angeles team enters, which is an initiative that matches property owners and managers who have vacant units with unhoused neighbors who are ready to rent. It's a win-win for everyone. Lease Up sets out to accomplish two major goals. Number one is to offer benefits and stability to property owners and managers in LA County. And number two is to provide housing for people who need access to housing. So there's no comparison when you think about Lease Up versus traditional rental agencies. Lease Up, we offer ready tenants. We also have government-backed renters insurance, financial incentives for property owners and managers, mediation for issues and tenants, and 24-hour customer support. There's really no comparison. Here's why some of the property owners prefer Lease Up. It's fast, reliable rent and protection. We offer holding fees to minimize loss while finding renters for you. We have monthly income that you can count on from government-backed subsidies, protection against damage of up to $10,000 with a government-backed safety net, and vacancy loss funds if a match doesn't work out or a tenant needs to move on from the housing placement. We have a great team on Lease Up that is dedicated support. We have 24/7 support for property managers and owners starting on day one. Additionally, we have immediate mediation if any landlord-tenant issues arise. We offer vacancy loss funds if a match doesn't work out. And we have case managers who regularly check in on site with tenants. We have what are called housing specialists. These are the people that you work with directly as owners. They're 100% dedicated to supporting property managers and owners. They work very closely with you from the moment you apply to work with us, and they're your direct contact for navigating issues with tenants. We have also additionally what are called leasing specialists now as well. So we are making sure that we garner the most support for property owners that we can through Lease Up. Additionally, we have ready to rent tenants. This is the biggest part that we've noticed, especially in the pandemic. We have no endless showings. We have free unit listings that reach over 2,700 case managers across LA County. We have a dedicated housing specialist for you to work directly with you to find the right match for your unit. As I mentioned, we have a team of mediators, and some of the common concerns that have been brought up in terms of landlord-tenant issues are property damage, general disturbance or evictions. We can help out with on-time rent payments. You don't have to worry about any of those issues with our Lease Up team. Every renter is actively working with an experienced case manager and getting the support they need from mental health services to job training. So to determine, if Lease Up is right for you today, it can take at least 2 months or longer to rent a unit market rate, especially now during the pandemic. While renting through Lease Up may mean below market rent, it's fast and reliable. One of the owners that is a great contact of ours, his name is Dan Tenenbaum. You can go on our website and check out one of his testimonials. He rents us lots of units and provides lots of units in downtown LA because he realizes the importance of people needing housing and what opportunity he can fill, with that as a property owner. So we do have live owner testimonials on our website at leaseuplosangeles.org. So I hope that you all check that out. So now that we've kind of covered some of the basics, I want to get into the details, the history of Lease Up, how to get started with us, and some frequently asked questions. Lease Up is backed by funding from the Los Angeles Homeless Authority since February of 2018. We work with over 600 property owners and managers across Southern California. Our goal is to engage an ever-growing number of partners and to provide fair, fast, stress-free housing solutions here in LA County. I'm going to tell you how it works in 9 simple steps. So you can reach out to our team at LeaseUp LA. You will connect with a housing specialist in your area. You will schedule a time to discuss the program and find out if you're eligible. You will complete the Lease Up paperwork, review the rental amount that you will receive. You'll discuss amenities, complete an inspection of your unit, and submit pictures. And this can all be done remotely. Additionally, your housing specialist will post your unit on the Lease Up LA website, where it reaches over 2,000 case managers across LA County. Your housing specialist handles the inquiries and schedules the viewings based on your availability or your property management. You get to approve the applicant, complete the paperwork for move-in, and schedule a lease signing. You will receive a security deposit and rent payment from our community partner agencies like PATH. And Lease Up provides ongoing support post move-in. Many of you may be wondering, how much will you collect in rent compared to market rate? That's a common question that we get asked. So that depends on the subsidy program and tenant. The Lease Up team will make sure that you're making a fair rent based on your location and amenities. A lot of people ask us, how is this different from Section 8 housing, which is a great question. We do work with Section 8 housing and many other housing subsidy programs, but our dedicated support for property owners and managers as well as tenants is what truly differentiates our program. So for property owners, we offer what are called holding fees. So currently we're giving owners 2 months rent upfront to allow us to exclusively list their unit on our website for 60 days. We also work with government-backed insurance, which are the housing subsidies that will be paying the rent. And we have a mediation services for tenant and landlord issues that could arise. For tenants, we have on-site check-ins from case managers and consistent support from mental health services to job training. Many people ask us what happens if they have a problem with a tenant. That's the great thing about our housing specialists. Our specialists are 100% dedicated to supporting you and your needs. In the case that you have an issue with the tenant, you can immediately reach out to your housing specialist who will handle the issue directly. We also provide certified mediators in case an issue needs to be escalated. They're certified by the Department of Business and Consumer Affairs. So we have several of those individuals on our team, and they do great work in helping people stay housed and helping owners continue to receive rents on time. So what if you want to increase your rent, or people often ask, are they locked into rent control? Your lease is with your tenant and not with Lease Up. So all the local laws generally and typically apply. If you have any questions, we have answers. And if you're interested in learning if your property is eligible, we would like you to reach out and visit us at leaseupla.org. That is our website. And we also have contact information via the website as well. So that is the general information about the Lease Up program. And I would be happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
All right. Thank you so much, Marissa. That was very good. And so now, everybody, what you can do is you can start putting your questions in the chat. So if you're on the AOAUSA.com website, you'll see the little blue help button at the bottom of the screen. If you click on that, you can enter in the question and they'll get that question to me, as well as just you can put it in the chat if you're on YouTube or Facebook. So let's go ahead and get those questions in, and we'll grill Marissa here. No, and anyway, just as we wait a little bit, I'm waiting for you guys to get those questions in. And so as we wait, yeah, I think here we go. Here we got some good questions. So let's go for it. All right. The first question is from Phyllis. Thank you. Do you serve the Los Angeles area? We need assistance in the 90008 area for a 1 and 2 bedroom vacant unit.
Yes, Phyllis, that's a great question. And so, yes, we serve LA City and LA County as a whole. So we are typically often recruiting and looking to list one bedroom units. We are also looking for units in the Antelope Valley, specifically in Palmdale, the San Gabriel Valley, Alhambra, Pasadena, and LA. So yes, we would definitely work with your unit.
Okay, great. And here's a good question from Nancy. How extensive is your background check on applicants?
So yeah, we can provide you, background of rental history, as well as credit checks. So it's pretty extensive. Most owners have taken our background checks in lieu of what they were using before because all the information is comparable to a normal background check.
And with that, do you have certain criteria that you're looking at?
Well, so that's a good question. So that's based on the owner's screening criteria. A lot of times we'll ask the owner, what is your current screening criteria? And then, we'll discuss what that is. So some owners, for example, may say, I'm looking for 700 credit and no prior evictions. And so, we'll kind of explain our program and the individuals that we serve and ask them if they're willing to expand their screening criteria, which may look like waiving credit score altogether. If some owners are generally looking at people pay their bills on time, their utilities and things like that. So they'll waive credit altogether so that we can give them the 2 months rent up front. Or they'll say, we'll accept evictions that are 10 years old. They may do something like that. So it's really a dialogue between us and the owner and what their needs are and what they ultimately want to do.
All right. All right. Amantha, do you have Lease Up in San Jose?
That's a great question. No, we're not in San Jose yet. We are in Santa Barbara, in Los Angeles only, but we are looking to expand this program as we grow always.
Are you familiar with other programs that might be up in San Jose? Like maybe there's a similar program that...
I can actually make a note of that and check with our program director. She may have some details that I could share with you all via email, and you all could share with the group.
Great. Okay, so Amantha, why don't you connect directly? So what's your email address and contact information? It may be showing up at the bottom there, but if you give that, then she could contact you.
Yeah, so my email is Marissa, Marissa, B as in boy, at epath.org. And our general Lease Up email is leaseupla at epath.org.
Great. And if you missed it, you can always just watch the video again and catch it. All right. Is there a minimum of rental properties needed for the program? I have a duplex in LA.
That's a great question. One unit is all you need to get started. And owners like you all make, the problem of homelessness go away the more you all are willing to provide housing. So one unit is all you need.
Great. And here's Bell Properties. How does it work for new property owners or properties that are not currently enrolled? So
Yeah. So for example, if the owner called us on our general phone, we would take information about their unit, like the address where it's located, how many units they have available that they want to work with us with. We would typically explain our incentives and schedule an inspection to come out and check out their unit. And we can have the unit being advertised within about 48 hours.
Okay. And Bell Properties, if that didn't answer your question, or if you want more, just go ahead and ask another question. Yeah. All right. From Byron, a 1-bedroom, 1-bath in my area rents for $2,000 a month. What could I expect with Lease Up? That's a great question.
What is the address? So that's what I would start out with. What is the address for that unit? And what we would do is we would run the comps. And then we would also look at, again, that against the local voucher payment standards. So each housing authority in LA, these are the people that issue Section 8 vouchers. They have voucher payment standards. So for a 1-bedroom, I can tell you what they would give you for the Section 8 program. But I do want people to keep in mind that we work with many other programs aside from Section 8. So a lot of owners will, want to strictly hold Section 8 allowances, but we work with so many subsidies that we have to look at the rental comps. Section 8 would offer 1765 in the city jurisdiction.
Right. So if let's say Section 8 offers that price that you just quoted, the 1765.
Yes.
Then what would it be with Lease Up? Would it be the same, or how would it be different?
So let's say if the rental comps support the 1765, we would pretty much stay with that. If the rental comps are lower, we would just kind of take into account what amenities are coming with the unit, the square footage, the area. So we would be between the payment standard of Section 8 at 1765 and the rental comp.
Okay, so you're either at that or a little higher than that.
Yeah, depending on what the comps will come in at.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Okay, Ralph, what is the usual rent percentage of the market rental rate? So there's a similar question.
So what is the usual rent percentage? Oh, that the tenant pays?
Right, no, so like if the rent is, let's say that the value really is $2,000. So what percentage of that market rate? Like everything's comped out. Everything it really is verifiable $2,000 unit. What rate would you go at?
So the housing programs can be within a percentage of HUD fair market rent. So our team will help determine that, if the unit meets that criteria. So like I said, that one bedroom is like the max out, that 1765 and the HUD FMR. So we're going to be somewhere in between there.
All right. Is this a yearly membership, or how does your program work?
Great questions. Most tenants are on year leases. So owners, if the tenancy is great, they can continue as long as they like, or, they may reach out and say, hey, the year's coming up. We don't want to renew. Could you help with that? So you have options if you want to, move on after that year lease.
So after the first year, do you continue to provide the services and the backing and all that?
So that's a great question, Jeff. So for example, let's say a tenant they're in a shorter term subsidy, they've graduated, they're no longer being subsidized, they're paying on their own, they're doing well. Our lease up services are still intact. So if any landlord tenant issue arises, maybe up to 2 years, we'll still be there for you. Even after that, you can still call us. We're not going to just throw our hands and act like we don't know who you are. We would still step in and navigate that situation.
As far as that, the guarantees on the money and different things like that, how long is that in place for?
Good question. So that does depend on what type of subsidy that individuals come with. So some individuals have lifelong subsidies. Some individuals have term subsidies that are graduated. And we let you know with each individual that's inquiring what they have out front. So you'll know, okay, this individual has Section 8 for a lifelong, or this individual has more of a short-term subsidy, and they're going to be expected to pay some point individually, within up to the next year, they're going to be on their own. So we disclose that as people are inquiring and you're making your decision.
Great. Natasha in the chat, do the property managers deal with all the tenant issues?
No, it's a partnership, right? So if you all have a landlord-tenant issue that is beyond your scope, we would ask that you reach out to us. So our team of, certified mediators can be involved. We may get the other agency or the case managers and have a meeting, or, just utilize our social service skills and techniques as well. So no, we do it in a partnership manner.
Great. So they take all the easy stuff basically, and then if it gets difficult, they can call you.
Pass it on over. That's right.
Okay. And how do you select the people that? How do people enter into the program on the tenant side?
Great question. So all the individuals who their programs or agencies have access to Lease Up, they have to be subsidized. So they have to have a government-backed subsidy for their case manager to be searching for housing on our website. So that's the guarantee that you have. They are going to be subsidized renters coming in. So if they're not, they wouldn't be looking for housing through our site.
Great. And you run a credit report and you do these different things, but you waive those. So you're looking, what are you looking at when these people enter the program, and how do you vet them if you're not looking at the credit history?
Yeah, so most owners basically include the subsidy as income. So if they have some sort of income, they'll add the subsidy on top of that. And additionally, they're gauging, they meet the people in person, but they do look at their credit. Some owners tell us they're just looking for, some consistency, or they're looking how recent, if they do have delinquencies, they are, or if people are actively working or aware of their delinquencies coming in, so honesty. So these are things that we also encourage. We ask up front, are there any, issues that we should be aware of? Are there any evictions? How old? Just to see, how active that tenant even is in this process. So that's some of the things that, we're looking at. But we also know that, people are also utilizing housing to get into stability, in a sense. So there's not going to be an extensive history that we would look for normally on the open market, but there may be some that owners like, okay, I see that, they were responsible in some kind of way,
Right. Well, great. Hey, if you have another question, let's go ahead and ask. Right now, I see the end of the questions here.
And I do have some frequently asked questions too that may be on people's mind that I can share as well.
What's a question that we should have asked you? That's my question.
Okay. So a lot of owners ask us what kind of damage is covered under our risk mitigation fund. So we can cover property damage. We can cover unpaid rent up to $10,000 after the security deposit has been applied. So we've been, making sure that owners are receiving risk mitigation who participate with us, and it's been working well. A lot of times they'll give us the units back, even if it wasn't successful, because we made sure on the back end, we were able to clean up and take care of the situation with the funding. A lot of owners also ask what happens if a tenant doesn't pay rent. How do we handle eviction?
Yes.
That's probably one of our biggest questions. The need for eviction has been extremely rare within our Lease Up program, but in the event that that's required, we will connect with you directly to people who can support you. We don't have the authority to initiate that process, but we are committed to ensuring positive experiences for landlord and tenants. So as you all are aware of the pandemic, a lot of owners have been reaching out to us. People are not paying. So, we were able to work with owners and work our relationships. Some tenants were able to relocate, and we help owners recoup some back rent. So we were like, we can't evict them right now. Obviously, it's a moratorium, which a lot of them, I understand their position. But what we were able to do is work with that person and their agency and relocate them, turn that unit back over to that owner, to someone who will pay. So those are some of the approaches that we would take.
All right, here's Grace. Is there a charge for this service, and is it by contract?
That's a great question, Grace. There is no charge for this service. We do have what we call a preferred owner agreement. And that preferred owner agreement, basically the units that you want to lease with us or list with us, we want to put protections on those units. So when you sign up, that puts the $10,000 coverage on your units. That makes sure our mediation team will mitigate if something happens. So owners who don't sign up, we won't be able to mitigate if they're not a part of our preferred owner program. So that's the only agreement. Owners can get out of that agreement anytime they want. A lot of times they don't want to, especially if they have tenants being housed, because they want to make sure they're able to get those risk mitigation funds if that's necessary.
Right. And that $10,000 lease protection, is that a 1-year term?
So we would pay that out once a year. Yeah. So and we've never seen it where we've had to do that multiple times a year. We do have what are called holding fees. So let's say we had to pay you out, the tenant moved, and you say, I want to give you guys the unit back. We can put the holding fee, give you the 2 months rent on the unit. And we do the holding fees once a year.
All right. Grace, once we get the unit rented, that is the end of our communication with Lease Up, or the involvement on subject property, assuming no issues with the tenant arise?
No, we do quarterly check-ins. We like to make sure everything is okay, and like we have open, dialogue and relationship with our owner contacts. So we are a lot of times in communication with them. Just because we have tenants there, we want to make sure everything is going smooth or rent's being paid on time. So we kind of keep in contact pretty often.
And then on the other side, on the tenant side, how often is the case manager? How often are they involved or connecting with the tenant?
Great question. At minimum, once a month. A lot of times they're speaking to them over the phone, or a lot of tenants are emailing these days. So weekly in that regard.
Okay. Here's Mike on YouTube. Are rent increases based on contract with Lease Up?
No. So the tenant is the lease is between you and the tenant. So just all local laws applies in terms to rent increases. We don't have any say in that.
Great. So let's say so that kind of just triggers a question. So let's say you agree on that 1765,
Mm-hmm.
and then come the next year, by law, you're able to raise the rent 5% plus whatever it is adjusted for CPI. Are they able to increase the rent to that full legal amount?
Yeah, owners legally can do that. So for us, just being honest, we're looking for long-term tenancy. So sometimes if that person, we ask them outwardly, if we know that you're going to do a rent increase, can you afford that moving forward? And they can't, we might look at relocation, but also work with you to get someone who can afford that rate.
Great. Okay, John, do you provide the services in San Bernardino?
No, we have not gone to San Bernardino County. We're currently in Santa Barbara in LA, but we are looking at expanding and what that looks like in other counties.
Great. And if you have more questions, please ask them. But I'll let you, Marissa. We'll start with parting words, and if it ends up being parting words, then it is. If there's another question that slips in, then we can field it as well. But any parting words, anything else that after people, maybe I'll ask a question. After people get into it, what's something that they say they wish they had known?
Just there's various, there's so many different kinds of subsidies. So like I said, some owners are very used to Section 8 notoriously, but, some owners then will say, well, I wish I would have been more open, to exploring other subsidies because some just want to work with one kind of program. We get a lot of owners that want to work with veterans only, but, after they get into it, they see the impact that they're having, what they're able to help with, here in LA. And they say, man, I wish I could help other people. We like, you can, there's a lot of other people you can help. So that's the opportunity. And,
right.
You guys are very much so a part of solving the problem here in LA, so it's just an honor every time you all are willing to give us units and at any rate. So 1 unit to 10 to 20, it all helps.
Great. And here's Mike. How long has Lease Up been in business?
Since 2018, we've been funded.
Great. And I think that's good to focus, to see that this is an opportunity. A lot of people they're definitely seriously need to mitigate risk, but they need to see the other side of the coin as far as what they're able to do. And so great.
Yeah, and then, like I said, we're just looking for units, particularly in the Antelope Valley and Palmdale, the San Gabriel Valley, Alhambra, Pasadena. So if you all know owners in those areas, or if you have units, we definitely could work with you and make sure that you get those incentives for those units.
So how many people right now do you have that are waiting for housing?
Oh, wow. I mean, there's hundreds of people looking for housing. What I can speak to is how many people our team has been able to house just this year alone. So I will share that with you all. But there's, on any given day, as you know, in LA, we have a homeless crisis. So there's hundreds of renters that are subsidized that are looking for housing, especially right now. This year, we have been able to house 716 people, and we're looking to take that number up. and we have brought on about 2,000 units this year. So we want to house people more and more, with these units.
Great. All right. Well, you know how to contact Marissa, and that's it's LeaseUp.
LeaseUp,
LA.
Leaseupla.org.
Right. So go ahead. The website was really simple, and they'll get right back to you. I know that. And anyway, thank you, Marissa, and for sharing this opportunity with our members. And let us know how it goes. Any of you that do it, let us know you're doing it. We'd love to give you a high five for that and just hear how it goes. And just remember, we have live streams this next week. We have Pathway to Wealth. It's the system. It's being organized and having everything in place to make sure you get all your inspections and make sure that everything is taken care of and managed well. And if you struggle with that, or if that causes you stress, that live stream will be for you, because it'll give you peace of mind to have everything in one spot. And anyway, so excited about that one. And then there's the small claims court one, preparing for that. So there's a lot of different videos that new content's coming up all the time. We're trying to anticipate what you need and provide that for you, because we want to keep you in the know. That's our job at AOA. We want to keep you in the know. We want to give you that idea that'll help you make and or keep more money than ever before, and make the process of providing housing easier. And so want to share that. Here we have one more. Baltazar on YouTube. What is the fair market value for a duplex that's 2-bedroom, 1-bath, central heat only, single car garage, 840 square feet in Lakewood, 90715? I think that question, he needs to give you a call.
Yes, I would love to connect with him directly so I can give him that information.
Yeah, so give her a call. Don't wait. Just get it done, right? All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you. Maybe we'll see you next week. And check we have a lot of videos. If you go to the YouTube channel there, AOA USA, you search for that, you'll see that there are tons of videos. And you can, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of resources for you if this is the first time for you. All right. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Have a nice